You work hard, save money, and try to build a stable future. But every year, your money quietly loses value without most people even realizing it. The same paycheck buys less food, less fuel, less comfort, and less security than before. This invisible financial force is called inflation, and it silently affects almost everyone in 2026. Inflation means the prices of goods and services rise over time, causing the purchasing power of money to slowly decrease even if your salary remains unchanged. Many people think inflation only affects luxury lifestyles, but in reality, it impacts everyday necessities like food, electricity, transportation, healthcare, and housing costs. The dangerous part about inflation is that it works slowly and quietly, making people feel stressed financially without always understanding the real reason behind their shrinking savings. In 2026, many workers feel like they are earning money but moving backward financially because inflation rises faster than salaries, savings, and financial stability. One of the biggest ways inflation quietly destroys wealth is by reducing the real value of savings over time, especially when money sits unused, without growing faster than rising prices. Many people believe keeping cash saved automatically protects them financially, but inflation can slowly weaken that money every single year without visibly reducing the amount itself. Inflation also quietly increases emotional stress because people begin noticing their income no longer provides the same comfort, stability, or financial confidence it once did. When prices rise faster than wages, workers slowly lose purchasing power, meaning they can afford fewer things even if they technically earn the same salary as before. This is why many middle-class families feel financially exhausted in 2026, because inflation silently pushes everyday life further out of reach without dramatic warning signs at first. Many people wonder why prices continue rising every year, and one major reason is that businesses face higher costs for fuel, transportation, wages, materials, and production. When businesses pay more to operate, those extra costs are usually passed directly to consumers, which means ordinary people end up paying higher prices for everyday necessities. Another hidden cause of inflation is excessive money circulation, because when too much money enters the economy too quickly, prices often rise as purchasing demand increases. Global crises, wars, supply chain problems, and economic instability can also worsen inflation by making important goods harder to produce, transport, or distribute efficiently. The dangerous part is that inflation often feels gradual at first, which causes many people to underestimate how much financial damage is happening over several years. Inflation becomes especially dangerous for people living paycheck to paycheck because even small increases in prices can quickly create major financial pressure and emotional stress over time. Middle-class families often feel inflation the most because they usually earn too much to receive support, but not enough to comfortably absorb rapidly rising living costs. Inflation also quietly changes human behavior because people begin cutting back on savings, delaying important goals, and worrying more about survival than long-term financial growth. Many people try to solve inflation pressure using debt or credit cards, but this often creates even bigger financial problems later through interest payments and long-term repayment stress. Over time, inflation can slowly destroy financial confidence because people begin feeling like no matter how hard they work, real stability keeps moving further away. One hidden effect of inflation is lifestyle shrinking, where people slowly begin accepting fewer comforts, fewer purchases, and lower financial freedom without always realizing how much life has changed. Many families now spend more money on basic necessities while sacrificing vacations, hobbies, entertainment, and future goals just to maintain everyday survival in difficult economic conditions. Inflation also quietly destroys purchasing power over long periods, meaning the same amount of money buys fewer products and services every single year. The emotional stress caused by inflation often becomes invisible because people slowly normalize financial pressure, anxiety, and constant money worries as everyday life. The longer inflation continues, the harder it becomes for ordinary workers to build savings, invest confidently, or feel financially secure about the future anymore. As inflation increases financial pressure, many people begin spending emotionally to escape stress temporarily, even though those habits quietly worsen long-term money problems over time. Modern digital payments also make inflation feel less visible because tapping cards and phones hides the emotional pain of spending compared to using physical cash. Another hidden inflation trap is lifestyle inflation, where people increase spending every time their income rises slightly instead of strengthening savings or long-term stability. Inflation also affects younger generations emotionally because many now feel home ownership, financial independence, and long-term stability are becoming increasingly difficult goals to achieve. The dangerous part is that inflation slowly changes expectations, causing people to accept constant financial stress as normal life instead of recognizing how unhealthy the situation has become. Long-term inflation does not only damage bank accounts, but also affects mental health by creating constant anxiety, uncertainty, and emotional exhaustion related to everyday financial survival. Many people now fear unexpected emergencies because inflation has reduced their financial safety nets, making repairs, healthcare, or temporary job loss feel emotionally terrifying. Financial pressure caused by inflation can also create tension inside relationships because money stress often leads to frustration, arguments, and emotional instability within families. Many workers secretly feel hopeless because inflation makes financial goals appear further away every year, even when they continue working harder and sacrificing more comfort. The emotional danger of inflation is that people slowly lose confidence in the future, causing them to feel trapped in survival mode instead of building long-term financial growth. The first step toward protecting yourself from inflation is understanding where your money actually goes every month and recognizing which spending habits quietly weaken financial stability over time. People who survive difficult economic periods usually develop stronger financial awareness by budgeting carefully, reducing unnecessary spending, and avoiding emotional financial decisions during stressful times. Even small, consistent savings can help reduce inflation pressure because disciplined financial habits create stability and emergency protection during uncertain economic conditions. Learning financial skills and understanding economic changes is becoming more important than ever before because awareness helps people make smarter decisions during inflation and financial uncertainty. Inflation may continue affecting the economy, but people who control spending, build awareness, and protect their financial habits often handle economic pressure much better over time. The harsh reality is that inflation quietly affects almost everyone, including workers, families, students, and retirees, because rising prices slowly weaken financial stability across the entire economy. Many people mistakenly believe inflation is only a temporary inconvenience, but over long periods, it can completely change lifestyles, savings potential, and future financial opportunities. The dangerous part about inflation is that people often adapt slowly to financial decline, making serious economic pressure feel normal, even when their money buys significantly less than before. Financial awareness is becoming one of the most important survival skills in 2026 because people who understand inflation are better prepared to protect their future stability. The goal is not to fear money or stop enjoying life completely, but to become smarter, more intentional, and more disciplined with financial decisions during difficult economic times. Small financial improvements repeated consistently over time can eventually create meaningful protection against inflation, even when economic conditions continue feeling difficult or uncertain. The earlier people understand how inflation works, the easier it becomes to avoid unnecessary financial mistakes and prepare more effectively for future economic challenges. Inflation may quietly destroy money, but awareness, discipline, and smarter habits can slowly help people regain control and reduce long-term financial stress significantly. Your money may lose value over time, but understanding inflation is the first step toward protecting your financial future and avoiding the silent dangers many people ignore. Subscribe now and stay informed, because understanding how inflation quietly destroys your money could help you make smarter decisions, reduce financial stress, and survive the economic challenges of 2026.